Time now for our rants and raves, starting with you, Dan.
Well, I often single out Facebook in this segment, but this week I'm giving them a rave.
Really? Wow.
This week, Facebook announced something called the Facebook Journalism Project. They're going to be working with the Washington Post, Vox, several other good news organizations, and they're going to try to develop... It's a little...
Is this the Campbell Brown thing?
Well, Campbell Brown is part of it. It's a little hazy at the moment, but what they're talking about is coming up with ways to improve digital storytelling on Facebook, coming up with ways to surface the good stuff and maybe play down the fake stuff. And, you know, we'll see what happens. But one of the big problems with Facebook is that they have adamantly denied that they're a media company, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But it seems like they're starting to inch up to acknowledging that they've become our most important distributor of news and that they've got some responsibility in that regard.
Well, it was never set up to do that, so that's
not
why
originally, but it is now.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Can they weed out all that happy birthday stuff while they're at it?
You can turn that off.
I have, but you can't turn others off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Got it. Callie.
So I have a rant rave. So my rant is for Sinclair Broadcast Group, which is laying off. They just bought WJLA, which is a Washington, D.C. television station, and they're making a huge amount of cuts across the board, it seems, though it was a little suspicious initially because Sinclair is a very conservative broadcast group, and they're laying off the person that I'm very sorry to see go, Maureen Bunyan. Who's been there for 46 years. She's a fabulous journalist. She's well loved. So
still beautiful.
Still gorgeous. This has
She's
nothing
67.
to do.
That's what it's about.
71. This has nothing to do with her draw because she's drawing people. She's got the ratings and all that. This is to do with other things that they want to do,
like ageism.
Well, yeah, that. So I would say that. You know, it just annoys me because they say it's all about the ratings, and she has the ratings, but they still don't want her. And she's done a fabulous job, and I just wanted the rave part of it is that she's been solid journalist.
Very, very popular.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dan.
Well, I have a rave today for Ben Piven. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He's a journalist who used to work at Al Jazeera America. And by the way, a year ago today was when that network made the announcement that they were going to shut their doors, and they did 3 months later. But what I liked about what he did, he wrote this piece in the HuffPost. And he laid out what happened. How did something that he believed was so good come to an end so quickly? And he pointed out, you know, price of oil, timing, some mismanagement. There was the end of the Arab Spring. There were a number of things that were downward pressure on the network. But he also talked about what they got right. They covered a lot of stories, and I know they didn't have the ratings, but they covered a lot of stories that traditional news outlets were not paying attention to. If it wasn't on fire, they weren't paying attention to it. They were paying attention to stories of poverty in Appalachia or, you know, in the Rust Belt, whatever it might be. They were doing these in-depth reports. And, yeah, would they have survived in this current environment? I think it would have been very, very difficult.
They did do good news.
But they did very good news. And he said, you know, now is the time when a network like that could have been doing some good work. And he ended his piece that he wrote by saying, quote, honest media, robust analysis, and diverse opinions are crucial when the truth is being crucified.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, John.
Well, there was an incident during the confirmation hearings for Secretary of State nominee Rex Tillerson, who constantly, I'm constantly trying to refer to as Rex Trailer for some reason, but it's not.
Okay.
It's Rex Tillerson, and where they were on a break, and Tillerson had left the witness table, and he left his notes there.
Whoa.
And there's an Asian American, and C-SPAN, of course, they just leave the camera going, and so it's just showing his seat. So there's an Asian American woman who is standing up behind the table, and she obviously spies the notes. Next thing I know, she's taking out her smartphone and taking some, discreetly, although it's caught on C-SPAN, taking pictures. Yeah. So this creates one of these classic internet cesspool uproars, where, first of all, how outrageous it was that a member of the press was doing this, and that's totally unacceptable, and then identifying the person totally erroneously as an Asian American editor from the Washington Post who proceeds to start receiving vicious hate mail.
Oh, my God.
So she writes a piece later in the day saying, hey, it's not me.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop her from being smeared all over the internet because the truth has nothing to do with it. And also, so I guess my rant is about that, the pillorying of this poor woman. And also, there was a lot of journalistic debate over whether or not it was ethical. Well, excuse me, that's a public place.
Yeah.
He
See
left the
it?
notes on the table.
It's yours.
Absolutely, it's ethical.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Who was
absolutely.
it then?
Malice aforethought.
I don't
Yeah.
think we even know at this
All right,
point.
so
God.
we were talking. I have a rave today for Chef Smith from Fox News Channel because we were talking about not enough people coming forward to support Jim Acosta. Well, he
Yes.
actually did
Yep.
on his program. He said, you know, what Trump did with Jim Acosta was wrong, and that more of the media should have come forward and said something. And this is very unusual and rare in our business, as we all know. To even acknowledge that another network exists, much less use their call letters or their name or name another reporter, it just isn't done. So thumbs up to Chef Smith for doing that, and let's hope we see more of that on Fox.
You didn't say where he's from. So,
Fox.
Fox, yeah. Right, okay.